We're recording this on a Tuesday as usual. Wizards got out to a 1-0 lead in their series last night against the Pacers.
That they did.
And
they did.
yes, and the Clippers made a very strong statement last night too by pretty much blowing out the Thunder in their first game too. So
CP3 is never going to hit 10 threes again in his life.
no, he's not.
You never know.
Come on, Kevin Durant, get it together. Or maybe they can just collapse and it'll come to DC. Like, I want him to win one, but I want him to also come to DC. And I think if they win ones at Oklahoma City, then he's probably, not going to come.
Well, which one do you want more is really the question here.
Oh, but I also love Trevor Ariza.
Trevor Ariza was just draining. He was just like, give it to Ariza.
But then Trevor Ariza's... They need to re-sign Gortat and Ariza because both of them aren't on the roster next year.
Right.
I don't know what Nene's
I
contract is.
don't think we're getting Ariza back.
Nene's,
I think some team is going to be like, hey, Ariza, here's a bunch of $1 million, and I don't think we're going to match it. I don't know.
Nene's still
we
under
got-
contract
we got-
for 2 more years.
We got Otto Porter Jr., so that's
Woo!
good. What a third overall pick that was. Yeah, I don't. Gosh, I also hate Blake Griffin, so I don't want to see and JJ Redick. I don't
What do
want
you
to
got
see
against Blake? Well, I hate JJ, but what do you got against Blake?
I got a lot against Blake. He's a crybaby, man. Soft sell.
Balake
He also
Griffin.
he doesn't even get a dunk, and they call it a dunk. He gets lucky, and he's lucky that none of his throw-ins have just bounced out of the rim. And he jumped over the hood of a car. That's probably this high. He didn't actually jump over the car.
Can you jump over a hood of a car?
If I was stretched out, yes.
If you were stretched out
If I was stretched out in my prime, yes.
in your prime.
Yeah, my high school days.
Yeah, I was going to say, when was your prime?
My high school days.
Also, speaking of age, can we talk about how weird it is to think about how amazing Bradley Beal is now, and he's younger than all 3 of us?
Yeah.
So that's kind of depressing.
Yeah,
like
sorry,
his-
I just thought about how I'm older than both of you. It's just
Oh yeah, that's
made me
true.
feel good about myself for a sec.
I feel like it's the mohawk. Like he uses the mohawk now to line up his shots.
I think I'm going to get a mohawk and hop on the basketball court. and see what happens. See, got LA
amazing.
Fitness this summer.
Yeah. So, are you guys worried at all about the Wizards not winning the series? To be honest.
No, I think they'll win. But I told you earlier, they looked really bad at points offensively yesterday. I know the Pacers are a good defensive team. They were one of the best when they weren't being awful altogether. Yeah. But they missed 10 field goals in a row in the fourth quarter.
Gortat is still struggling offensively.
He's doing terrible.
I just don't know what it is about him shooting at the rim lately. But last night there was one I remember that went over the hoop. He was shooting it from the left side and it went over and landed on the right side without hitting anything.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine offensively. I think John Wall needs to get to the basket more. When they're struggling to make a basket, because he just kept driving in and kicking it out. When they're struggling to make their baskets like that, drive in and get fouled if you can. Because he's quick enough. He can blow by Paul George and C.J. Watkins. So if he can get to the line, if he can just get to a line, that can maybe get the offense going a little bit more. At least get some points on the board instead of going 5 minutes without a point. Because they scored 10 points in the third quarter.
Yeah,
That's an interesting thing with John Wall. Most of the Bulls series and this one, I mean, he's been playing well and he's been scoring, but he hasn't
been playing as a
been
true point guard.
Yeah, he hasn't been that guy to take over the game yet, and I'm wondering if it's gonna need to happen at some point because I feel like the Pacers are good enough. They're gonna take a couple games and they may play us close a couple. So I'm wondering. It's not that he's not stepping up, but I feel like John Wall's that guy who could take over a game if it gets close, and he hasn't yet done that. But maybe we don't need him to. I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't needed him to, but he can. Also, one thing defensively that worries me, that one play, they set a screen for David West, and he gets it kind of at the elbow, but not from 3, but from 2, and they either pass to him, and he hits the basket, or he'll kick it out for a 3, because they weren't fighting through the screens. They kept going around it lazily, and it was just wide open. And that happened probably 6 times during the game yesterday, which I think that's an easy adjustment to make. But that when they made that run, I mean, he was getting those open looks, and then they started crashing on him. He was kicking out for 3 because they would double team him for some reason. They don't need to double team David West.
Yeah.
No.
And on defense, I mean, Trevor Ariza played really well last night on defense.
Yeah.
But my issue with Gortat, and last night they played Drew Gooden a lot last night for some reason.
Well, it's because Nene was in a little bit of foul trouble, and I mean, hey, he had 12 and 13.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying he was bad, but on the defensive end,
Yeah.
he and Gortat both have a tendency to not play tight on their defenders, which is an issue that with the pick and rolls then that happens is especially Gortat, I've noticed. I've just watched a lot more of his games than I have Drew Gooden, obviously. But Gortat definitely has a tendency to stay back on his defender, and a lot of times people will either be able to get by him, or he won't fight through screens like you said, which leaves. And David West is a good shooter for power forward.
He's always been so.
Yeah, Gooden. They were talking about how Whitman didn't want to put Gooden in the Bulls series because he felt like Booker was a better matchup. He was faster and more physical than Gooden was. So I guess throwing Gooden in now is because the pace of the game was supposed to be slower, even though it was a relatively fast-paced game for at least the Pacers standards. I don't know about us.
Yeah, because I was going to say, the faster that we play, the more of an advantage that gives the Wizards over the Pacers.
Yeah, but that was what I think Whitman said either before or after the game. I read an article.
Yeah,
about
I mean,
it,
I think he's done well coaching the playoffs so far.
Now that he won last night, I saw that it was only he and Pat Riley are the. I think it was they're the only two coaches that won their first 4 road playoff games. So great. So now he gets an extension. So we have that to look
I was
forward
thinking
to.
about that right
But
after
he's
the game.
been doing well with the matchups and everything. He has. You can't lie. He's been playing. He's been matching it up well.
They can't fire him now.
I know
he can't. He already won a series. It's the first
Yeah.
series that we won in forever.
I know he doesn't draw the best plays, but
And time management is a big issue with him too.
all right. But he's been doing so well with the matchups.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get mad at all. Like every single lineup he's put in, I'm like, yes. Except I was a little confused. Like just not confused, but the Drew Gooden and Gortat just defensively wasn't the best. But I mean, Drew Gooden was getting those offensive boards, man.
Yeah.
He was.
And the thing is, everyone's arm would be here, and somehow the ball would just come through enough where Drew Gooden could just tip it in. Really
Yeah,
quick.
he tipped in like
It's not
two
like
or
he was
three of
out
them.
jumping people because he's like 80.
And Gortat's been doing like the volleyball thing too, where he'll just like swat it. He wouldn't even rebound it. He'll just hit it back out. And he did that at the end of the Bulls game
And he
too.
still gets credit with the rebound.
Oh dear. So are all three of us going to go with the Wizards being able to end up winning the series?
In 6.
I think in 5.
I'd say 6, just because. I
Sorry,
think we'll
Lady
win it at
Gaga.
home.
You're going to have to move your concert.
Yeah.
Really, there's Lady Gaga.
You don't know about this?
No, I just
Game 6 would be the same day, the same night that Lady Gaga is having a concert at the Verizon Center.
That's
Hey,
not
Maybe
gonna
they can
happen.
just move it to Baltimore.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we
Lady
go.
Gaga. No, I actually don't.
Not
really
the Lady
care about
Gaga concert, the Wizards game.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
they can have it at CQ Arena.
There we go.
CQ Actually, well,
You'll
better
fit,
first
you'll fit
fair.
about like 1/8 of the Verizon Center in there. Really get your money.
Hey, the Verizon Center is hosting the Big Ten tournament now.
Yeah,
As
did
you
you
know.
see the graphic? They moved the Washington Monument about 9 blocks over.
They made a graphic for it, and somehow the Washington Monument magically got next to the Verizon Center.
Monument and the mall, and then another memorial. I couldn't tell which one because I just saw it briefly on my phone. They like made it so here's the Verizon Center and here are all the monuments.
Yeah, because that's exactly how it
Yeah.
was. When I walked from the Verizon Center there, when I made that famous video, Barack Obama, no one knows about that, but it was definitely not right next to it. It was a long
Yeah.
walk.
She had not in Chinatown.
So the other playoff series, I guess we can touch on pretty quickly. Wizards still.
Portland.
Portland.
What I tell you? What did I tell you guys about Portland? What did I tell you?
You think they're going to beat the Spurs though?
I don't think they have enough depth.
Oh, you
don't
don't
think
believe in them now?
I just said they would get past Houston. I don't think they have enough depth though.
Yeah, I don't think.
they don't.
I think the bench is going to be an issue for them. I think the Spurs win that series.
Unless they bring in CJ McCollum to strap up Patty Mills.
Yeah, I don't know.
CJ McCollum, baby.
It'd be interesting though, because I'm guessing it was Splitter and Aldridge against each other, or was Duncan probably?
They haven't
wasn't
played
on.
yet.
They-
That's
oh,
tonight. I just
okay,
wanted to
okay.
brag about how I told you guys all about Portland.
Yeah, well, I think that would be if Aldridge goes off, I could see Portland being successful, but
They need more
San
depth.
Antonio is a better team. They're just a better team. I say that all
Yeah,
the
they need
time,
more
but they're a
depth.
good team.
Also, that's a Wizards problem. They haven't been getting much contribution off the bench offensively.
Martell's been pretty cold lately.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything. Oh, some guy was on WNST yesterday and said how it was surprising how Martell played well against the Bulls or whatever. I'm like, Martell's playing well for his time in DC.
Yeah.
Like, he started, and he was good, and he is good, so clearly you haven't watched the Wizards.
And he's basically like the sixth man.
Yeah, so that really annoyed me. 'Cause I'm like, all right, we had this national NBA writer talk about how he surprised Martell Webster was playing well. Well, you apparently haven't watched them for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I saw on Twitter another thing. I'm digressing, but I'm just going to do it anyway because I thought it was interesting. It was a question. It was CNSN Washington. They're like, who's the better backcourt combo, John Wall and Bradley Beal, or Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. That was the question. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just CSN Washington getting exciting, but getting excited.
Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are definitely better offensively, but John Wall and Bradley Beal like to swat a lot of balls.
Yeah.
And get a lot of steals.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
I mean,
that's really.
it could also be
didn't I?
It could also be an East Coast bias because I think like all year I probably watched a total of like 4 Warriors games to be honest. Well, all of their playoff series, and then in the regular season I probably watched 3 or 4 of their games honestly. So it could also be bias.
I plead the fifth.
Okay,
but that's a good question.
It'll be fun to see though, like in the next couple seasons.
I want to know what Charles Barkley says because he loves John Wall and Bradley Beal.
He said last night.
He said this since like.
Can you do it in his accent?
Let me tell you, Ernie.
That was good.
Ernie, this will be the best backcourt in like 2 to 3 to 4 years.
Oh my God, he's the best. Last night
he's like, "When's this going sweet?"
Yeah, last night he predicted the sweep. He was like, "Just over." Crazy, stupid, knuckleheaded, terrible. He didn't actually say that.
Ernie, let me tell you.
Oh man,
they have fun on that TNT halftime show.
That has to be the best like sports show.
Ernie like runs up to this giant screen. He looks like so small compared to it, and he's like pointing at players on the screen. He's like,
Kenny?
Yeah, that's what I don't know why I said Ernie. Yeah, Kenny did, and he like points at Nene, and Nene's like this, and then and Kenny's like this. I was just so.
That has to be the best. I mean, they make a lot of fun of each other, but then they are so good at breaking it down. And you have 2 Hall of Famers. I don't know if Kenny is going to the Hall of Fame. I don't know if his career was that great. He was really good though. And then Ernie is just great at moderating everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the best like shows for like a particular sport. I don't watch the Inside the NFL on Showtime because who watches Showtime?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, we really
we
really went shoo off the track there.
The NFL draft.
No, we still haven't even talked about the rest of the series yet.
Oh.
So, all right. So real quick. Clippers slender. You guys, Jesse, you already said CP3 is not going to have that many threes again.
No.
What do you think for the rest of the series?
I'm just so torn. I love Durant. I really want to see him in DC, but I want to see. I don't know.
I think
and Caron Butler is on the Thunder.
Oh, Caron Butler, yeah.
Oh, tough juice. I do hate Kendrick Perkins though. Kendrick Perkins looks like I don't know. He just is like Kendrick Perkins, and I need 2 boards a game. That's going 7, I think.
I think it's going 7. But I think the Clippers are going to win.
Jeremy Lamb needs to get more playing time. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lamb needs to get more playing time because they need some more depth off the bench, like contributing players off the bench. Because Scott Brooks has not been going that deep, and I don't know.
It just doesn't feel like this is the Thunder's year.
No,
not at all. I think Scott Brooks is crumbling under the pressure that he doesn't know anything besides set up isolation plays.
I think the Clippers, they'll win the series. I think they have a shot at beating the Spurs. I can
see the Clippers in a championship.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see Blake Griffin or J.J. Redick get that far.
Well, J.J. Redick, yeah, I don't like J.J. Redick.
Blake Griffin. Or Matt Barnes.
Hey, on the Clippers note, I'm just going to promo the Towerlight here. So the vacant Clippers spot, there's a
owner.
Yeah,
soon to be vacant, I guess.
Yeah,
he's still getting his money.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but eventually they're probably going to sell it and someone's going to buy the Clippers. And if that happens, there's a Towson graduate who, I don't want to give away too much, but he is planning on making a bid at the Clippers. So check out Thursday's Towerlight, and we'll have a Q&A in there. So,
That's exciting stuff. And then the last series, Heat and Nets. I don't think any of us are going to pick the Nets to win that series.
Nets in 7.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh.
Absolutely not. Heat and
I think it might go
6.
It could go like 6. Yeah, I think it goes 6 games.
I mean, Paul Pierce, just please strap up LeBron.
He's the truth.
Paul Pierce is the truth. He is the truth. I love Paul Pierce. I'm going to get my Paul Pierce Celtics jersey from home and pull an Andrew Constant with that.
Oh, dear. We make a lot of Andrew Constant references on the podcast now. Nobody knows who that is. Rip Andrew. All right, so NFL mock draft. For those of you who read my mock draft on Thursday, Matt will be doing a similar one for Thursday's issue as well. So this will probably be going up the same time that comes out in print. But we're just going to go through the first 5 picks. We frankly just don't have enough time to be able to go through the whole first round. I think we would be here for like 4 hours.
Yeah, it'd be a long time.
Yeah. But I guess, I don't know how you want to do this. Do we just want to say who we think like the 5 best players in the draft is?
I don't know. I think it'd be better if we go with who picks who, because sometimes you don't pick the top player at that
pick what you need.
that time. So
Not that I know what someone's. I just haven't been paying attention to the NFL draft. I'll contribute what I can because I'm very stern on one pick.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes, I have. I'm set on one.
I have a feeling it's like Johnny Manziel or something.
It is Johnny Manziel.
You never wear that shirt either, okay? I got you a shirt for Christmas.
I wear my shirt. I wear it all the time.
Johnny Manziel doing that.
It's been winter.
You've never worn it.
It's winter. I'm not wearing a tank top for our podcast.
Well, one time I want to see you wearing that shirt. That'll make me feel good.
I'll wear it to the gym and Snapchat.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
So, number 1 overall, looks like I'm cheating off of Matt's thing, and he has the Falcons trading up, but I think the Texans are going to stay pat and take Jadeveon Clowney.
Whatever his name is, Clowney.
And what about you?
You can go.
Okay, well, I wanted to mix it up. I think there's probably a better chance Houston doesn't trade that pick, but I think just for kind of exciting purposes, I say Atlanta takes that pick and trades with Houston, because I think Atlanta wants Clowney a lot, probably more than Houston really wants Clowney. But if Clowney's there at first pick, I think someone will take him. But I have Atlanta taking Clowney in that first pick, and then Houston moving back to, I think it was 6 that the Falcons had. So that was my first pick.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's interesting about trading picks for this first pick is, to me, I'm kind of getting the vibe from Houston that they're like not particularly jazzed on one player. They're just kind of like, yeah, I guess. Like, so I definitely think that someone, and I did a thing for eDraft, the other site that Matt and I write for last night, about recapping the rumors in the AFC East. And I read a thing from Sports Illustrated that said that the Bills might be interested in moving up to take Clowney too. So that's another. I mean, granted,
because
these are all
that's the Bills' need right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, granted, this is all just like 5 days before the draft, bullcrap rumors, but
yeah, I mean, who isn't interested in trading up for Clowney?
Exactly.
Let's be real.
Yeah,
but they don't need to trade up to the number 1 pick to get Clowney.
Okay, so who do you think's gonna go?
I see what you did.
There's not many things I agree with Skip Bayless on.
Oh man!
But when it comes to Johnny Football going number 1 overall, the Houston Texans will regret the day that they don't take Johnny Football number 1 in this draft.
Whew.
Okay.
Aren't you glad you got that one off?
Seriously, they were 2 years ago. They were in the playoffs. Sorry about that. And you know the Ravens.
Yeah, I do. Yep. I remember I cheered. It was awesome.
Seriously though, they were so close, and there was one glaring need and hole that they had: the quarterback spot. You don't win championships with 2 rushers. You win unless you're the Ravens, that has an entire stacked defense. Yeah. Although Trent Dilfer was like the best primetime quarterback ever.
Trent Dilfer, man, he was great.
You win Super Bowls with your quarterback, and Johnny Football has the heart, and he knows how to win.
Man, you're getting passionate about this. I tell you,
I love Johnny Football.
Okay, I didn't get that passionate. Jadeveon Clowney.
Well, I mean, I just think that I just don't think the Texans are particularly interested in taking any quarterback, let alone Manziel.
Well, that's good. They can keep being really bad.
If I may interject, I do have Houston taking Johnny Manziel. Pick number 6, though. So, yeah. Little curveball.
If that trade goes down, that's definitely a possibility.
I know, and I'm going to have it. Check it out on Thursday.
Because they will regret the day they don't take Johnny Manziel.
Okay, just wait until pick 4 then.
Okay.
Then at number 2, I have I had the Rams in my mock draft taking Sammy Watkins, which kind of an unpopular, well, not necessarily unpopular, but kind of like an uncommon pick when I was doing research for my mock draft when I was writing it. But I think it's a pretty good possibility because really the Rams now, they have a good defense. They have a pretty solid defense. They have Sam Bradford, who I think.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yesterday rumors came out that they were talking with the Vikings about trading Sam Bradford.
Yeah, so I saw that on First Take this morning.
Yeah,
Sam Bradford's not good.
No, I mean, I don't think Sam Bradford is like a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but at the same time, I feel like you just have to give him like at least another year. And maybe they take Jimmy Garoppolo or Zach Mettenberger, since he keeps falling back now, to be that possible like heir apparent to Bradford if Bradford doesn't pan out. But I think Sammy Watkins, then after Jadeveon, is the most talented player. Like,
Talented, yeah. I mean, it's hard to gauge the talent of an offensive tackle.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Greg Robinson's pretty. I mean, that's who I have for number two.
I mean, Robinson definitely feels a need for the Rams.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I agree with Matt. They need offense, the offensive line.
Yeah, and I mean, they need protection. Sam Bradford, if he does play, more protection he has. I mean, it's just for any quarterback. The better quarterback you're probably going to be.
And he has a history of injury.
Yeah, and say they do trade Bradford. I don't think they would pick a quarterback that early. I think it's a very deep draft for any really position. So I think drafting an offensive tackle here and then drafting a quarterback later would help them too. But yeah, either way, I think tackle would be the best pick for St. Louis.
And then at 3, I had Khalil Mack going to the Jaguars, mainly just because best available player at that point. I don't think the Jaguars are too keen on taking quarterback at 3. I mean, I definitely don't think they are, actually. Especially because they signed Chad Henne to that weird extension. I don't really get that at all, but it doesn't look like they're interested in taking Manziel or Bridgewater at 3. So, kind of just, I just think then Mack is the best available at that point.
Well,
I'm the same as you.
You went with Matt. Well, I went with Sammy Watkins.
You.
Oh,
same
okay.
as you, Sammy Watkins.
I was going to say, yeah, Sammy Watkins going with the best player available. Since you had him at 2, he would be the best available definitely at 3.
And him and Cecil Shorts the 3rd?
Yeah, and with Blackman, who knows when he's going to play or if he's ever going to play.
Is done.
So Sammy Watkins in Jacksonville would also be a good fit. So would Mack, but in this case, I think Sammy Watkins would be better than Mack if we're going by best available at 3.
Then, at number 4,
my
Cleveland Browns.
There you go.
Lockett. Taking Johnny Football.
You don't even like him. He hates him.
I hate him as a person. I feel like he would be one of the worst people to try to hang out with.
He'd be great.
But, the Browns need something to be excited about.
Oh, man.
I mean, they have Josh Gordon, who is, like, top 3 receiver in the NFL now, apparently.
Top 3?
Maybe top 10? Can we do that?
Wait a minute.
We're not going into this.
We're having a tangent on this now. This is happening.
Devorah's going to get mad about
We're having so many tangents. We're probably at like 45 minutes.
Fine, we won't get into
What's
this
the length
tangent.
of this tangent?
Alright, fine.
B squared.
Fine, we won't get into this tangent.
No, not mad.
Anyways, they have Josh Gordon and Jordan Cameron to be excited about. They have a good young defense. They have Joe Hayden. Then they signed Dante Whitner, who decided he's not changing his name to Hittner now. That's a thing that happened.
Okay.
And they drafted Markevius last year. They re-signed Phil Taylor. He's got an extension. They were able to keep Alex Mack from the Jaguars. So they did a lot of good things in the offseason. And I just think that they need like a spark plug now for that team. They haven't had anything to be excited about.
LeBron.
Well, the Browns. Cleveland.
Okay.
The city of Cleveland, too, though. Since LeBron
They got
left.
Nigel Morgan trying to run to first base and doing a somersault.
I love. You mean Tony Plush? Nigel Morgan's my boy.
No, it was Nigel Morgan, right?
Yeah. You never heard about Tony Plush?
No.
When he was on the Nationals, he had an alter ego called Tony Plush.
Well, apparently he's also someone Picante now.
He used to give interviews after Nats games as Tony Plush.
I remember that.
I like Nigel Morgan when he was on the Brewers, and they they had like a walk-off win in like the final game of the regular season to go to the playoffs or something, and he just went around the entire field going crazy with all the fans. And I was like, he's the man. Nigel Morgan is the man.
And
Nigel Morgan.
Top 3 Nigel Morgan moments. That time with the Nationals where he missed a fly ball, and he took his glove off and threw it against the wall while the ball rolled past him back into the outfield. So I remember that happening.
Man,
too.
we went from Nigel Morgan. We got there from a Cleveland Browns draft pick. So
I think, but anyways, I definitely think it's going to be Manziel. I think the Browns need a quarterback, and I just want that to happen. Like, I want to be excited about football in Cleveland.
Well, you guys will get Jadeveon. I don't know. I realize he's still on the board. I told you I haven't been paying attention at all to NFL mock drafts.
Okay, so
I just know who I want the Ravens to get. That's all I've cared about.
So I've got with the Cleveland Browns getting Khalil Mack because he's the best available, and I think linebacker position's one where eventually, like DeQuell, they got rid of DeQuell, right, and then they added.
DeQuell got paid.
Carlos.
Carlos Dansby. So Dansby won't be there for that long. So
Yeah.
Khalil Mack will fill a role eventually. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's 2 years. I don't know. But he's the best player at number 4 in my
What do you
draft.
guys have on your defensive line? Like DNs.
We have
Paul Kruger's terrible.
Yeah. Man,
I feel bad now because I forgot his name. He has a funny name. He's from Pitt. We drafted him like 3 years ago.
Is he good?
Jabal Sheard.
Is he good?
Yeah, he's fine.
All right, well, Jadeveon Clowney will come take Paul Kruger's spot because Paul Kruger
Clowney in a Browns jersey. That just seems weird.
35 mil or whatever he got to get 4 sacks.
Great job, Ravens. Great job letting him go.
Bro, seriously, great job. Not Arthur Jones, though. You messed up there.
Yeah.
Then we have at 5. Oh boy, I forgot who I have. Oh, I remember now. I have the Raiders taking Greg Robinson.
Yeah,
That's right.
yes, you do. And, well, since Greg Robinson's gone in ours, well, I don't know if you're going with the same picture.
I'm just going to go with what you have.
Okay. Yeah, well, I still think the Raiders need an offensive tackle, so I went Jake Matthews, Texas A&M. 2 offensive tackles in the first 5 picks.
They could have used him to block for Terrell Pryor, but they traded the best quarterback on their roster because they're just a terrible organization.
They got Schaub. I mean, they have him. He's not great, but
Yeah, have
he
fun
could,
with those pick sixes.
Well, good thing I'm not a Raiders fan.
God, Terrell Pryor is so good. He doesn't get a chance. Braxton Miller is going to be something else.
I think Jesse just campaigns for the short-running quarterbacks. That's like his platform. Jesse Jones.
He broke for 94-yard touchdown for the Steelers.
For all the running backs under 6 foot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if he actually is, but I hope he is.
And then a bonus round for a mock draft.
Thank you.
Who do you guys think the Ravens are going to take? I had Clinton Dix.
I have Clinton Dix, or what's that other safety's name? Calvin Pryor?
Yes.
Or Zach Martin from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Or Taylor Lewan from Michigan, if they trade up, because he might be gone early.
If they get Eric Ebron, man, have fun on Ed Dixon 2.0.
Well, I don't think we need a tight end. I hope we don't.
But he keeps getting linked to us. We have the UPS system going on, like USPS. Whatever Terrell Suggs calls Dennis Pitta. Something with the mail.
You know, I wish I followed.
Something with the mail. It's slipping my mind right now. And then we got slipping my mind again. Come on.
If we can do a bonus, not to
What's
draw
his
it
name
out.
from Houston?
What?
Owen Daniels.
Okay.
We got the tight end crew.
Oh, this is a good last one. We might as well just take this farther. Bonus. Where does Towson's own Terrence West go?
I told Mike about
I don't know.
I told Mike about this yesterday, and you weren't in the office, Matt. But Tony Grossi, who covers the Browns for the ESPN radio station up there, he wrote a whole column for the Plain Dealer about how he thinks that Terrence is the best value in the draft at running back. And that he thinks that the Browns could take him in the 3rd or 4th round.
Over Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. But that's why he said value.
Value, I could see.
Because Hyde is going to get drafted, and probably Andre Williams will probably get drafted ahead of Terrence.
And probably a couple others. You have Sankey, I think, will go ahead of him.
Yeah,
I think Jeremy Hill will go ahead of him. For some reason, people are high on him. I don't get it. He has value. I don't know if he has the most value, though, because there are a couple, like Bishop Sankey. He was underrated going into this draft. He's very fast. He's not the same back as Terrence, but Terrence is someone I could see what he's saying because he was undervalued because he was in the FCS. So,
Yeah.
I could see it. If I had to pick a team, I'm going Bills 4th round. That's what I'm going.
I don't know.
I
just don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens took him because of the hometown thing, the Bernard Pierce thing.
I have an inside scoop that says that's not going to happen.
You
said that like 3 weeks ago, and you still didn't even say who your inside scoop is.
I do too, but
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, we talked about
This
that.
is all off the record.
We talked about that outside the podcast. But anyways, I think the other team that makes sense for me, and we were talking about this after his pro day, is the Titans. Because they frankly they have Sean Green now, and that's it.
The fumble machine, Sean Green.
Wow.
I like what you
Poet?
did
How
there.
about that?
So, all right, does anybody else have anything they want to add?
I'm gonna miss Jesse in these sports
Yeah.
podcasts.
We can do like a Google Hangout.
Yeah.
And then just upload it.
There we
Who's
go.
gonna campaign for Johnny Manziel starting job?
If Johnny
at
Manziel goes to the
Cleveland?
Browns, I'm done. They're gonna ruin his career.
Do you want to say something to your viewers?
It's been fun. I'll be at the baseball games this weekend for their senior day series. And I appreciate all 18 views we get on these.
Yeah.
Woo! Towerlight is in great hands with these two, as well as the sports section.
I can say that Matt and I will be back in some form next year doing a podcast. Hopefully, we're going to try to do guests next year.
Yeah.
Right?
Something like that.
We'll mix it
We're
up.
going to be doing a Google Hangout because they don't seem like that's happening, but it's happening.
We're
doing it.
We're going to put Jesse on the laptop right here. And have us
like
too.
ESPN First Take, where they have the giant screen of Stephen A. Smith. It'll just be like a laptop version of me.
We'll be back and better than ever. Maybe we'll get some intro music next year.
Ooh, man.
Get some Kendrick Lamar going. Maybe.
I could just rap the intro music if you want.
We could learn Kendrick Lamar.
I'll drop the beat for you guys.
Powers and crafts all over the world.
On that note.
On that note, good luck on finals, I guess, everyone, and be sure to watch the draft to find out where Terrence goes, and be checking at Towerlight Sports on Twitter, and the Towerlight on Twitter, because both Matt and I will probably be tweeting whenever Terrence gets drafted, and then we'll have a story in Monday's issue depending upon where he goes. So.
Yep.
Also,
go Wizards and Blazers.
Yes, go Wizards. And I don't really care either way about the Blazers. Also, public service announcement. Terrence did tell us that he's going to be having a draft party at the Green Turtle on Thursday. So if anybody's looking for a place to watch the draft, that's definitely a destination.
Yep. I won't be there watching the draft.
So,
not because of Terrence, I just won't be at the Green Turtle watching the draft.
Okay.
So, best of luck, and I guess we'll be talking to you next semester.